Welcome back, everybody. This is Shawnee D Man here. Hope you guys are doing great. With my homeboy Jimmy. And we are back with our second part of our MCU rankings. And obviously, my buddy Jimmy made a little graph for us. So those of you at home,
I didn't make it. It's a website.
Well, I was trying to give you credit, and you did not that credit. But you guys can see this is where this is where we rank them. Wait, do we rank Ant-Man B? I thought, or we ranked it C. I don't remember.
We did.
Did we? Okay, all right, that's fine. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. So not to drag this video out any longer, we're gonna jump right into it, and let's so at the bottom you guys can see we still have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Infinity War, Captain America Civil War, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Iron Man 2, the first Iron Man, and Thor Ragnarok. So let's start with Captain Marvel.
All right.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Marvel. You can go first.
All right. So Captain Marvel. It was an all right film. It kind of did what it needed to do for the MCU up to this point, and that was to introduce Captain Marvel for Avengers Endgame. Because obviously you remember at the end of Avengers Infinity War, when everybody gets dusted, Nick Fury pulls out the little space beeper to call Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel, this movie is just basically just a filler, really just a filler episode movie for the MCU, because that way, okay, we got to introduce Captain Marvel. This is the way we do it. I love seeing the Skrulls live action, which I was kind of surprised that the Skrulls weren't the villains in this movie. Because obviously in the comics and other media outlets, the Skrulls have usually been portrayed as like bad guys. But I didn't mind the way they portrayed the Skrulls in this movie. Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. It was fine. I mean, she's an all right actress. Nothing against her.
She can be a good actress. That's the thing.
Yeah.
In this movie, though, there really hasn't been a point in any of the other Marvel movies where I've actually noticed really bad acting, and for some reason in Captain Marvel, she's just not a good actress. She's not convincing at all.
Yeah, the way she acts in Captain Marvel is kind of the same way that I remember seeing her in Kong Skull Island. It's the same kind of acting, and it's just not. I mean, could they have found somebody to play?
It feels way too artificial. It feels like she's trying to put on this like tough guy front, whereas I wish that I don't know if you remember, but Brie Larson is actually in Community.
What?
Yeah, she is the girl that Abed dates.
I didn't even realize
he meets her.
Was this the ping pong episode, or was this a different episode?
This is the one where they have the big dance, and half of the dance wants some old 90s singer.
Is it Green Day?
And then no, it's like some old 90s singer, and then the other half of the dance is like a sock op. But I think that's where
I have to go back and look at. I gotta go back and look and find that episode, because I did not know.
Either way, she's in that, and she's really good in Community. I really liked her in that, but I did not like her in Captain Marvel. This is one of the ones that I've been waiting to talk about, because
I see it now. I pulled it up. I see it now.
Captain Marvel is for me, I won't say it's as bad as Thor: The Dark World.
Oh
but
yeah.
I'm definitely going to give it an E for sure. For me, I did not like Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I to be honest, I thought it was unique, like and different what they did with the scrolls.
Right, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but being that it was Captain Marvel's first appearance in the MCU and the Skrulls' first appearance in the MCU, it was a little it was a letdown that they weren't the main villains, because there was so much potential like that. I
I mean,
gotta say that
you could have done a secret invasion. I mean, obviously, I mean, Marvel could technically still do a secret invasions movie.
they could have set up Secret Invasion, which apparently there's a Secret Invasion. Is it a TV series that's supposed to be coming out
I
eventually
think
at some
so.
point?
I think so.
But see, they didn't even really set that up, because as of now, the scrolls that we know, which there could very well be many more out there,
Yeah.
but the scrolls that we know at this point in the MCU are good. But I I will say the coolest sequence of the movie is really towards the beginning, when she is fighting the scroll um, on the train.
Yeah.
On
Oh
the
yeah.
train,
Yeah. That was
it's
pretty
the old
cool.
lady. Oh,
Oh
that was
yeah.
so cool, and I was like, I can't wait to see more of this.
Yeah.
And then they didn't deliver.
Yeah.
So, and then going back to another reason I didn't like it, Brie Larson just wasn't very good in this movie. Her acting was not convincing to me.
Yeah. I think from what I've heard, like not just from this movie, but from other movies, that Brie Larson is not the best kind of person to act around. Like
Oh no!
she's
I mean, that's
hard
another
to.
thing. I don't like her. I'm sorry. Not that I would ever meet her or associate with her, so I don't really care about what I'm about to say. But I don't really like her as a person, to be quite honest.
That's the general feeling that I hear from a lot of, or that I
She,
see.
I won't get too far into that.
Right, right. It's just.
I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but uh, I thought you know what? I can't even remember the villain's name. That should tell you plenty enough.
Mm.
Um, who is it? What's his name? What's his name?
And Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Well, there
Yeah.
was Jude Law played him.
Yeah. I know it was Jude
What
Law. I
was
just
his
can't
name?
remember his name.
Marvel. Well,
Marvel.
no, that wasn't his
No.
name.
Marvel is
That was somebody else. That was oh wait, what was his name? He played okay, well, I don't remember his name.
there you go.
Yeah,
That should tell you enough,
I
honestly.
mean, it was interesting to
Um
see the guy play Ronan again, but
I
again,
loved seeing him return. I
yeah,
loved seeing more of Ronan.
yeah, I love
Um,
Ronan.
I feel that we didn't get a lot of depth in his character in Guardians of the Galaxy, so it was definitely cool to see him younger,
Yeah.
and when he was still like a big political figure.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, the Captain Marvel, just it's not my cup of tea.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Another thing that bugged me was, I feel like a lot of times
Mhm.
Marvel uses comedy as a crutch almost.
Yeah, yeah.
And you probably know what I'm about to say. Um, we had not necessarily been teased, but so many people had speculated and wondered, and it was a big mystery as to what happened to Nick Fury's eye.
Oh yes.
And it,
Yeah.
I don't know, it really pissed me off that they had to make it a joke.
All right.
Like, I wanted
Honestly,
it to be something cool.
yeah.
Like,
But also to be fair, I think at the time of the start of this universe, yes, that's probably something you never kind of would have thought about.
Well, I mean,
you could have
it was
changed it.
definitely unexpected.
Yeah, you could have changed how he lost his eye, from the way Marvel did it in Captain Marvel. But like also, I was just thinking like, at the beginning of was Iron Man, you're not gonna think like 10, 12 years later down the line, you're gonna be like, well, wait, how are we gonna discuss how Nick Fury lost his eye?
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. It was a little bit of a letdown with the whole cat scratching his eye kind of thing.
It was a cute little haha joke. He got scratched in the eye, but it's like Nick Fury is this cool, mysterious character, and I feel like a lot of people really wanted him to, and he had some awesome moments. It was cool to see. They did a great job aging him down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I got so ticked off in the movies when we saw that part.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I would give it an E. I'm right there with you.
I liked what it set up for future movies, but other than that, as a movie
again, like I said, Captain Marvel, it was just a filler episode. That's really all it was. So, but yeah, I'm fine with an E.
All right.
You want to pick the next one?
Let's see. Well, we're about to get down to
we're about to get into some good ones.
Thor Ragnarok.
I'm gonna give it a B because it's a lot better. I actually kind of maybe like this Thor a lot. Well, the Thor movies were never really as popular as the rest of these are for some reason. I'm not sure why. The first Thor was a pretty good movie. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't bad compared to Thor the Dark World. But I think I've always preferred Thor. Looks like how he did in the first Thor with the long hair and everything like that. But Thor Ragnarok was a really good movie. Like, didn't the same guy? No, because it felt like Thor, like a Thor's Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like the visual effects were great. The story was pretty good. Hela was a good villain.
Yeah.
It's that trend in phase 3. The Marvel villains were actually really good. Hela was really good. A lot of people, I don't know if she died or not. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. I'm not sure. But and then obviously Thor Ragnarok kind of like leads into Avengers Infinity War. I love I love Korg and Meek. Those two were really hilarious in this movie.
Gosh, Korg. Korg is one of the funniest characters.
He is. Oh my gosh, he was so hilarious. I think did I see this with you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think me, you, pretty sure Bailey saw it with us too.
I think Jessica and Darling were there too, maybe, but I could be wrong. It might be just be me and you and Bailey.
Bailey would not stop talking about Korg.
Oh yeah, he loved Korg.
Korg.
Piss off, Ghost.
Korg is
awesome. And then it was overall I loved it. It was a good movie. So for me, I'm going to slide into a B because it felt like an Asgardian version of Guardians of the Galaxy, basically. And I think that's what Thor needed at this point, because Thor was a good character, but he just compare him to Iron Man and Captain America, he just wasn't as popular. And I think Thor Ragnarok helped Thor become really much more popular than what he was in the first two films. So yeah, I will slide it into a B with the other ones.
What would I have to do to convince you to make this an A? Because, okay, hear me out.
All right, I'm listening.
This small point, this is the top tier best that we have seen Hulk in the MCU by far.
Fair.
Hulk in Ragnarok is like top tier Hulk. For me, honestly, even more than Professor Hulk, which I did like. I liked Professor Hulk a lot, but yeah, Hulk in Ragnarok is like the best Hulk to me. It was cool to see his like progression, like he's able to talk in full sentences now and communicate with Thor, and I love their banter. And that Hulk kind of has this almost like toddler like quality to him where he like throws tantrums and stuff. I love that. Comedy wise, Thor Ragnarok is I think Ragnarok is probably my funniest.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it funny because of like the whole movie's funny, or is it mainly funny because of Korg and Meek? They make it
the whole movie is pretty funny. Like it's got a lot of good jokes.
I mean, but honestly, that's my point on like. I mean, it's a good movie, but that's also why I'm sliding it in with the Guardians of the Galaxy, because they're the same kind of movie. If you think about it. I mean, obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy has better music than Thor Ragnarok, but from a visual standpoint and from like a style standpoint of this film, it's just like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I have no problem with it being just like Guardians of the Galaxy. I will say this. I will go to an A with you, because I will say I think Hela is a better villain in Thor Ragnarok than the villains
either of the. I don't know.
Ego was really good. Ego was good, but I think I still will put Hela over Ego a little bit, because she is the god. I mean, yes, Ego is the living planet, and then Hela's obviously the goddess of death. So I will concede with you, and I will say I'll go with an A for Thor Ragnarok.
All right. Okay, man, we're getting down to it.
All right. Iron Man 2. I mean 3. Iron Man 3. Sorry, I was kind of like looking at both the things here. Iron Man 3.
Oh, do I have to talk about it that much? I'm just gonna go ahead and say, dude, I remember when we saw this together.
Oh yeah.
That was probably the most angry we've ever walked out of a Marvel movie.
Okay, so here's the thing: you were more angry about it than I was. Look, I understand on why you were angry about it. I was not as angry about it.
They did my boy Mandarin wrong.
Listen, I understand, but or did they?
They did in this movie.
Wait,
they only fixed it because of the backlash, and you know that because that the short All Hail the King that didn't come out till like what was it, like a year later. Mm-hmm. You know that the only reason they put that out is because so many people were pissed that they ruined the Mandarin.
Well, also keep in mind, the Mandarin is, I think, if I'm remembering right, the Mandarin is supposed to appear in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
He better live up to it. I better get a payoff.
Oh my God. Okay. Listen, it's not a bad movie. It's better than Iron Man 2. It's not a bad movie. It's just not that great of a movie. I feel like
I'll say this. I agree with you. It's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. To be honest, everything but the Mandarin for the most part, I enjoyed. I really liked how they explored Tony's PTSD.
Yeah.
After the battle in New York, that was super interesting to me. And Tony has just had so much character development and such a huge character arc throughout all the movies. Like to see his growth, to see him go from this narcissistic, I mean, he's always been a narcissist, but you know, rich playboy, he doesn't want to play by the rules, doesn't care what anybody has to say. It's all about him. He's super selfish, to making the ultimate sacrifice.
Right.
They show that really well throughout his movies and honestly throughout the entire MCU. And seeing him struggle so much in this movie is pretty rough, because he's, you know, up until now, Tony has always been, you know, smartest guy in the room, real headstrong character, you know, and to see him literally breaking down mentally, that I thought that was a good thing to explore.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, Killian wasn't a terrible villain.
Right. Yeah.
I just hate that they had to call him the Mandarin.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I can understand that.
Because he was most definitely not the Mandarin. He was Aldrich Killian.
I also would have, at least up to this point, I would love to also have seen more of AIM in the MCU. I thought that's an organization that probably needs to come up a little bit more. I mean, because you have it's Hydra.
MODOK.
Yeah, is Hydra even still relevant in the MCU? I think they are. But I say that's the thing. I don't know. After the Winter Soldier, and well, there were some Hydra agents in the first Ant-Man movie. But other than that,
yeah, but you could tell that they were like black market, you know.
Yeah, it's not
the radar.
It's not the same Hydra. Maybe we'll see Hydra and Winter and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Maybe
we'll see.
I do with Iron Man 3 though. I do love the fight, like towards the end of it when he has all those suits come up.
It's a pretty cool moment.
It's a cool moment. I think honestly, I was just landed in the middle. I'll put it at C.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Not good. Not bad.
It pissed me off, and the angry part of me would want to give it a D, but I honestly think it deserves.
Yeah, I think at this point I think it's a C. I'm fine with giving it, putting that little middle point. All right. Your pick.
Let's see. Avengers: Age of Ultron. I'll talk.
Okay. That's fine. I have to think.
Age of Ultron. The opening credit sequence. I guess after the opening credits, the first scene of the movie is like it's like candy for like Marvel movie fans. Like, I mean, I was like, yes, we are right in the action. We are picking up. This is the Avengers, fully formed team. They're assembled. They're kicking butt. Like, it is awesome. And, you know, and honestly, for the most part, I think the movie's pretty solid.
It's a solid. It gets a
ranks
lot
the
more
lowest.
hate.
It ranks the lowest out of the Avengers movies for sure. I mean, it ranks lower, honestly, as a Marvel movie. Not for me.
I don't know. Here's the thing, and everybody complained about Ultron being such a bad villain. I don't think he was a bad villain. I think Ultron is essentially doing what Ultron does, and I think because. Well, I had it in my head. Oh, because they talk about how he got, beat so easily by the Avengers. And I was kind of like, I told somebody, I said, think about this. if you go against a well-oiled machine, you're not gonna do very good against that.
No, I mean this. You have to think this was the Avengers.
This is like their yeah. This is their exactly. They were firing on all cylinders. Even
I've seen theories that if 2014 Thanos had gone against the Avengers, he would have lost.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because this was before all the things that caused them to break up as a team.
Yeah.
After Civil War, the Avengers were,
Oh yeah, that's that makes you think too. Like obviously, when we get into the end game,
a big part of that is Ultron.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Ultron. Well, Ultron is a big reason.
Not only Ultron, but also Baron Zemo.
Well, yeah, I mean, he orchestrated the whole thing.
Yeah, but both Ultron and Zemo set things in motion that caused the Avengers to break up. So Ultron's not a bad villain. People just didn't like how. I mean, James Spader as Ultron's voice I thought it was fine. I was okay with that. I think maybe some people would have preferred a much more better Ultron design, but I mean, that's here or there. I was fine with the design of Ultron, but it's not a bad film as most people would point it out to be. I think it's a really good film, and then you're introducing Wanda and Pietro in this movie. Obviously at the time of this movie coming out, Marvel couldn't call them mutants because that title is still owned by Fox.
Yeah.
So
maybe that'll change soon.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll just go back in and retcon that little part. But I mean, it's a really good movie, and like you said, it sets up what happens in Civil War and and Avengers Infinity War. So, but personally, for me, see,
I'm going to say B.
You going to say B?
I'm going to say B because for me, I think that Age of Ultron, for the most part, was basically, I mean, the script is different, but essentially the same movie as the Avengers. It's set up kind of similarly, and the only reason I would give it a B is because it just doesn't have the oomph that the first Avengers had, because I mean it was revolutionary.
Right.
And then Age of Ultron was like, okay, we're doing this again, and it's like we've already seen this. It's still good. It's still good, but it's not going to hit as hard as the first Avengers.
I saw theories where kind of like Ultron kind of predicted Thanos coming to Earth, and so Ultron's programming was designed, or at least the way he was going about it, was to prepare Earth for Thanos' arrival. Because if you keep in mind, he talked about how God throws a rock at the Earth each time it's like settling down or something like that, and he talked about how God's getting ready to wind up, and essentially, Thanos came. But I think Ultron, obviously, he wasn't what people wanted, but he's still a good villain, and I think B. I think B's good. This is a movie I would definitely watch again. Like, I'm fine with a B. I'm very comfortable with
B. Of all the villains that I would love to see make a return, Ultron is probably number one.
I think Ultron is. You could call it a cop out if you want, but Ultron will be the easiest villain to bring back.
Of course, I mean they could say he's been, trapped in, not trapped, but
White Vision could just become Ultron. We don't know. I mean, he could come back. So, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable to be. All right. Okay. I'll pick. Let's do Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right. Now, I'm pretty sure we didn't see this together.
maybe.
But I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we didn't see this one together.
I don't have a lot to say about this movie.
It was an okay film. It was fine.
I'm gonna say C. It wasn't as good as the first Ant-Man for sure. This is one of the and it doesn't fit in with the phase 3 and on trend of having good villains, I would say.
I would say Ghost is a pretty. I think Ghost was a pretty good villain. I mean, she wasn't on the level of a Loki or a Hela, but I think she was a pretty decent villain. I mean, obviously she I mean, we'll probably end up seeing her again because she didn't die or anything like that, and she could potentially come back.
Yeah, but she won't be evil,
right? I mean, which is it's nitpicky if you want her to be evil or not. But I mean, I think it's.
Oh no, I mean.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm fine whether she's good or bad either way. But who knows? I don't know. I don't think she was that bad of a villain. I mean, I can't really complain. I think a C is a good spot for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Again, it's a movie I could watch again, and I'll be completely fine with it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Having Wasp in it for the first time it's pretty good. Obviously, it sets up for him for Scott Lang and Avengers of Endgame because he gets sucked into the quantum realm for 5 years. Yeah. Like, I think it was like 5 hours. Well, 5 hours his time, and I think 5 years Avengers time.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
That's right.
And so yeah, C, I'm completely fine with C. I'm okay with that. All right, your pick. We're down to some good ones here.
Oh boy. Let's do the one that started it all. Iron Man.
S.
Photo.
I don't care. Sure. Yeah. I don't care that it may have some flaws in it. It started the MCU.
Fact that it started the MCU, and for that, it will.
It deserves an S. I mean,
my heart.
I loved Iron Man. I was like,
it holds up to this day.
Oh yes.
And to be honest, it stands its own against modern MCU movies.
Oh yeah.
Like it still fits in.
Like if I had to choose between watching Iron Man and let's say Ant-Man.
Iron Man.
Sure. I would watch Iron Man 9 times out of 10.
I mean, tonally, it's a little different.
Yeah.
MCU definitely grew into a certain tone and style throughout like the past 10 years, but
it was Iron Man was also a little dark too in this first episode. It wasn't like murderous killer kind of thing, but like
it's got terrorists and
it was
things pretty, at the time that were pretty heavy topics. We were still in the war with in the Middle East.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and then but seeing him suit up for the first time in that Iron Man suit, his Mach 3 suit. I'm telling you, it's
Iron Man 1. I mean, it's like, as far as MCU comic interpretations, it's they just ripped the pages out and put them on screen. I mean, it's top tier Marvel for sure.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I'm completely fine with this.
All right. So basically, we just got S's left.
Okay. Okay. Avengers Endgame. Where would you rank it?
Endgame. Oh my god, it's S for me. I mean,
really?
I know that it's not necessarily as far as what would be traditionally helmed as a good movie in terms of what a critic wants. I would probably say an A. But for me, because of my reaction, my connection with it, my emotional connection with this movie, the payoff of the past 10 years in the making, like all these different payoffs, Cap lifting the hammer, finally becoming worthy, all these things that we've wanted, Peggy and Steve getting together. I mean, I could go on and on forever.
It began and ended with Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. So it's yep. Originally they wanted him not to say anything and he just snapped his fingers.
Yeah, and he came up with that.
Oh yeah.
It just makes it even better.
Oh yeah, so 10 times better. The only thing about it is what I hate about it is that we didn't see a rematch between Thanos and Hulk. And Marvel kind of teased that several times.
I was so sad about that because
it was a little bit of a letdown.
For me, I wanted because Hulk could just snap. His arm is charred and like all mangled up and wrinkled. And for me, I was like, this is when Savage Hulk needs to come into play.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was fully expecting Thanos and Hulk to start going at it, and Thanos is smearing Hulk into the ground, and then like Thanos brings his fist down, and you just see like like Hulk just like completely morphs into like Savage Hulk. Oh, that would have been, and
that's what it was. That's what I wanted.
They could have freaking had him Loki him like he did in the Avengers, just like a rag doll. I would have gone.
I would have been so much better. I would have been fine if they would have brought in Professor Hulk later. But after Marvel and Kevin Feige were just constantly teasing about how there was going to be a rematch between Hulk and Thanos.
Yeah, that was really the only gripe I have.
And then you had like you said. It is an S-ranked movie. And I'm looking at it from a Marvel fan perspective, not a critic perspective. And from a Marvel fan perspective,
because critically, one would say that Infinity War was better because, well, there are several reasons, but
both are good movies. Because one with the Infinity War, it's just that shock and awe of when Thanos snaps his finger.
I mean, we were sitting in the theater and we're just like,
it got quiet.
Just like I think it's Natasha that says it. No, it's Nebula. He actually did it. Like he really did it.
I'm telling you, it was
you're just like in shock.
Yeah, it's just like it traumatized you.
And if you notice in the movie, they really add to like the feeling of dread when he snaps his fingers and people start getting dusted. They completely cut the music. There is no music in that part. It's dead quiet.
The worst one was a Spider-Man one. That really, I think, like it was serious during that entire moment, but when it got to Peter, I mean, it was.
I was like,
oh my gosh,
please don't. And he's like, I don't feel so good. And I'm like, I don't either, Bob.
Gosh, it was terrible. Then it was just, but like, it wasn't, but like you said, in game, a combination of like, 10 plus years of Marvel content. What are you doing?
You know what I'm doing.
Are you? We're not even done with Endgame. You're already moving that up there.
It's fine. We know where these are going.
To be honest, I would actually put Civil War at A. I wouldn't put it at an S. But that's just me. That's just me.
You disappoint me.
Shut your mouth.
We'll get to it. We'll see.
But Endgame, like just the final battle, when you like you said, it's like there were so many Marvel loose ends that were tying up in this movie. Cap picks up Thor's hammer. We get the Pepper Potts Iron Woman suit, the rescue suit. Obviously, there's Professor Hulk, and then I'm telling you, like the moment we didn't see Endgame together. I remember that. I saw it with some other people, but the moment when everybody's coming out of the portals and everybody's making that final stand against Thanos, and Cap's just like a symbol. The entire theater,
okay,
the theater went nuts when that happened.
I know a lot of people have opinions on theater etiquette, and you know, a lot of people get pissed off when people, you know, stand up and scream or cheer.
Oh, I don't care.
Or anything in the theater. And I have to be honest, me as a person, I don't do that. I don't get like that.
Oh, I know.
But in Endgame, I screamed and cheered like I was at a freaking football game. Like
it was the highlight.
I've never. That's why I said it's immediate S for me, because I have never experienced anything like that in a movie.
It's that Marvel fan, the inside of you, that because you've been waiting, because they teased it at the end of Age of Ultron, and then just to finally hear him say that,
yes,
it made it worthwhile. And obviously you had the I Am Iron Man part, and Tony Stark's death, even a Black Widow's death was also upsetting to watch, as you watch really three of the founding Avenger members, kind of like two of them, have died, and Steve is an old man now. But
did you see? So the directors finally came out and confirmed. I knew this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That Steve came from an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
Which is obvious because the way they explained it in the movie, he would have had to.
Yeah.
He would have had to, because I don't think that, at least within the continuity that we saw, I don't believe that in that at Peggy's funeral, I don't believe her mysterious husband was Steve. I don't think that when Peggy, at least in the movies that we saw, is referencing her husband, I don't think that it's Steve. Steve and Peggy being together is that completely exists in an alternate timeline. That could be a whole different video.
But also too, like apparently there were talks, and I think they came out and addressed this too, that like in Civil War, when Peggy dies, Old Man Steve is one of the casket bearers at that funeral, because you can see there's an old man helping carry the casket. And I think somebody, maybe it was a director or somebody of that movie, came out and said that it was Old Man Steve. But I mean they probably just be saying that just to say that, or maybe that was just like a rumor or fandom or something like that. But
see, it wouldn't make any sense, because if we're going by the laws that they set in the movie, your past can't be your. I can't think of how to explain it right now, but
here's the thing though, like, even, I don't know, I'm sure people thought about this, but even if Steve goes back and he stays in that timeline with Peggy, that has to be messing with the timeline in some aspect, because there's
the potential that they would have with it, Steve going back and living in an alternate timeline where he could take action in world events, like huge world events and crises. He would now have the ability to help prevent. So that's so interesting to me, and I would love to see them explore that, or at least like mention it, or something like that. Like,
right. All right. Let's move on to Avengers Infinity War. We could probably just rapid fire these last ones.
Infinity War.
Good. Great film. Enjoyed
Fantastic movie.
The Wakanda battle when Thor arrives. Amazing. Chadwick Boseman's Wakanda Forever. great. The Doctor
Thanos
Strange and Thanos fight, amazing. Even the Iron Man and Thanos fight was it was brutal to watch.
Yeah,
But
it was pretty hard.
But it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Infinity War. And then Civil War. Love that too. See, I did Civil War and Winter Soldier are like two of my favorite Marvel movies up to this point.
Then why would you give it an A?
Civil War. So the thing about Civil War is it's the reason I'm giving it an A is because I mean, I could give it an S. But I think Winter Soldier is a better film than Civil War. Now it's cool. Now I will give it credit for Civil War because it does bring in Black Panther and Spider-Man into the MCU. It goes through the whole Superhero Rights Registration Act. Baron Zemo, you could probably, even though I said this about Ultron, the villain is not that great. Even Zemo is good. Zemo is a good villain, and I understand people didn't care for him as a villain. He was the only one throughout these entire MCU run to break up the Avengers. And he's just I just don't understand why everybody hates Zemo, but he's a good villain. I don't know.
A lot of the complaints that I saw were it's nearly impossible the way he would have had. Well, there's no way he could have known that things would transpire the way that they did. His entire plan literally depended on so many things having to go right.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a movie.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing. There's just nothing bad about Civil War I can say. I just personally would put it at an A. It's a good movie, but compared to
me,
yeah,
this will be one that we disagree on because
you gonna put it at A? I mean S.
It's S for me.
Okay, that's fine.
Because of it's like it's another one of those that's like straight from the comics.
Mm-hmm. Right.
To the screen. Okay. I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
The way they went about handling Civil War, and honestly, I had so many people that I talked to that I was like, there's no way they're gonna be able to make this movie and have it to where there's like an actual split on people agreeing with Iron Man or people agreeing with Captain America.
Oh, it happened,
obviously, people are, if they've read the comics, obviously people are going to be more in line with Captain America's point of view. But when the movie came out, the way they handled it and the way they explained it, I had friends, I knew people that were like, no, I totally would rather have government oversight with something like that.
But here's the thing, though, with that, though, the only reason Tony agreed to that kind of thing was because of Ultron because there's a woman who shoved a picture of her dead kid. Yeah. Other than that, if she didn't do that, would we be having this conversation about the Superhero Rights Act?
I feel like it wasn't just that. There were other things that were weighing on him. I mean, you could argue that another reason it happened was because of what happened in Lagos with Wanda.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, that's where the Sokovia Accords came from, was from Lagos. And because the Sokovia Accords wasn't Tony's idea. He was just the first one that signed into it.
Right.
He was all on board with it.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
The the third act with Tony finding out the truth about his parents is, I would say, okay, so most emotional I've been in a Marvel movie, Endgame. Second most emotional would probably be
I wouldn't
either Infinity War or, but man,
I wouldn't go as far as emotional. I would say much more. It was more conflicting, because what if you're in Steve's position?
No, I mean, I get it. It's just very, for me, it was just so depressing to see Steve and Tony, where they were literally like, "You're dead to me. Like we can't be friends anymore. You've betrayed me, like too far. Like this is something that is incredibly important to me. This is my parents, and you knew that this guy killed them, and you never told me." You know, like, to see their relationship fall apart, and then the moment when Iron Man's repulsor beam is like meeting with his shield, and the music at that point, man, it really hit me right there. And then like Tony, man, Robert Downey Jr. is such a good actor. Tony, like the emotion in his face as he's watching that clip is just like, you feel for him so bad. Like, it's awful. Because throughout the rest of the movie, you're like totally on Cap's side. Well, at least I was. Like, and then that happens, and you're like, oh, Cap, why? Come on, you totally should have told him. Like, but I don't know. Yeah, it's an S for me, but
that's fair. That's fair.
I'll leave it
an
A for you. You conceded with me.
Yeah, just you know what? Put it at an S, because you gave me Doctor Strange.
But,
you can put it at an S. I'm fine. I'm completely fine with that. you did let me have Doctor Strange at an S, so I can roll with that. I'm okay with that. But it's a good movie.
All right, boys, here it is. This is our tier list. It is a perfect upside down pyramid.
Oh yeah, look at that. I'm okay with that. It is what it is. All right. And that is it, guys. You guys just leave in the comment section. Tell us what you think and how would you rank these movies. We would love to hear from you guys. And if you're John, no more commenting on our stuff if you're gonna be negative.
And by the way, we are in the process of branding our podcast.
Oh yeah, we are. So be on the lookout for that.
There may be a name, a title of the podcast coming soon, and
you should, let's see. This is gonna come out because we kind of pre-recorded this, so this is gonna come out on a Friday. So really, you should be seeing the first brand of it this past Monday with our WandaVision series review. Other than that, if you didn't watch that, then they'll be, in the title cards or at the end of this video. You can click on it and watch it. But yeah. And then the scripts, there'll be they'll be on my I have an Instagram account, and it'll be on there too, so you guys can be on the lookout for that. I'll leave that in the description as well. So be on the lookout. We're being fancy with ourselves now. So but other than that, you guys just hit that like and subscribe button, drop us a comment, tell us you stopped by, and we thank you guys for enjoying this. There'll be a lot more of these. I think we're going to try to do this maybe every Friday, or at least something like that, depending on how our schedules work out. We'll have some kind of video come up talking about, I think we're going to do one about Falcon and Winter Soldier, Multiverse of Madness, Fantastic Four, X-Men, talk about Phase 4 movies, just things like that in the coming weeks. So you guys just keep a lookout for that. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this little series. And until then, we'll catch you guys later. See ya.
Peace.